Hey, it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. I surely hope that my intro played through because I don't know if it's my internet or whatever. So this is a Diddy update. As you all know, we were tuning in yesterday to kind of see the judge's reaction and what he was going to say regarding the illegal taking pictures of his handwritten notes that clearly stated that they were for legal purposes. So there was kind of a debacle of whether or not the items was for legal use. But furthermore, did the government have the right to take? Well, it wasn't even a government really. It was a BOP investigator who took photos of documents that clearly was in a folder marked legal, sent to the, what was it, the something team, and that team sent it to the prosecution. Like what? But anywho's, let's get into what the order stated. All right, so there was two filings this morning. The first was document 76, and I briefly kind of updated you guys last night, just stating that the judge did order for all copies of the handwritten notes to be destroyed. So the first letter is going to go into more detail as to what the judge said about that. I do not know how to say this judge's name, but Judge Arun, that's what I'm going to say, Judge Arun. Oh, Arun. For the reasons stated at the hearing held on November 19th, 2024, the government, with the exception of the filter team, must immediately delete the photograph notes at issue pending the court's ruling on whether they are covered by attorney-client privilege. The government should confirm on or before November 21st, 2024, that the notes have been deleted based on the government's representation that the filter team has no involvement in either the grand jury investigation or this litigation. The filter team may retain copies of the photographed notes, but may not provide them to anyone else. Briefing on defendant's application related to the notes will follow this schedule. Defendant's brief to be filed on December 4th. The government's response is to be filed on December 9th, and the defendant's reply to the government's response is due on December 11th. The briefs should include citations to the best cases supporting or refuting the requested relief. And it says, finally, defendant's reply brief on his renewed motion for bail at docket 60 is now due on Thursday, November 21st at 12 p.m. And that's Eastern Standard Time. So I'm definitely going to be watching the docket on there. But this is crazy. Well, it's not crazy, but so in addition to the judge determining, or not even determining, ordering them to get rid of the copies of the handwritten notes except for the filter team, they also kind of spoke on the motion for bail. So I'm not quite sure, and I have another letter, so maybe that letter actually explains why. But there was news going on the internet stating that now the judge is wanting to know why Diddy is not able to get bail when you have Mike Jeffries being able to get bail. And that was a discussion last night. And if we look at the two crimes, and I read the complaint for that. Uh, Mike Jeffries case. So if you have not seen it, definitely go see that. But they're trying to figure out why is it that Diddy is not being able to be granted bail, and why is the government opposing that? Like the judge is saying, you need to use the best cases in your opposition for the motion to bail. So we looked at Mike Jeffries' case, and He had what I forgot, it was some type of events. So his events, that's what they call them. I forgot exactly what it was, but it's something events. How is those events equivalent to the freak offs? When we read the complaint, there were some disturbing things that took off during those events. Um, but when you're thinking about those events, that is one thing. Um, there were individuals that were being trafficked across state lines. There was drugs being used at both of these parties and events. But on Diddy's case, we have to look beyond that. Now, in the complaint for Jeffries, it had no mention of him, beating and doing all other different type of stuff that Diddy was accused of. So I'm thinking that is probably why the government is so hooked on him not being able to uh get bail. But go back and watch that video and listen to what was alleged in that complaint, and then you guys can make your assumptions from there. But let me hop on to the second letter that was drafted. All right, and this is just one pagers. In his November 19, 2024 letter to the court, prior filing to the hearing the same day, defendant stated that a government investigator took photographs of several items, including intact pages from two different legal pads and ripped out pages of other legal pads. And that was at docket 75, that document at paragraph 1. Let's see. The letter also described the legal pads and detailed and argued that they were privileged in part because on top of his legal pads and notes, defendant has a folder marked legal, which put anyone on notice that everything along with the folder marked legal is attorney client privileged. At the November 19, 2024 hearing, defendant's counsel presented the court with an intact legal pad with legal written on the binding, stating that the legal label on this and the other pads showed that they were clearly protected by attorney-client privilege and should not be in the government's possession. I do agree. That's attorney client. Obviously, if he put, it doesn't matter what he may write something totally unrelated to the case and, put it in a folder. If it says legal, why are you messing with it? The court notes that the sealed exhibit to the government's brief at docket 72-1 includes photograph of two intact legal pads taken at the time of the BOP sweep. There is no writing on the binder of either pad. At the scheduled hearing on Friday, November 22nd, defense counsel should be prepared to give the court further context on the legal label that the court was presented with at November 19th, 2024 hearing, and to address why this label doesn't appear on the photographs in the court's possession and why it wasn't addressed in defendant's submission to the court made a few hours before the November 19th, 20. Oh, okay. So the pictures that the investigator got, so on the legal pads, on I think they said two of them, no, the words legal wasn't written on those. It wasn't written on there. So technically, that's not attorney-client confidentiality. I think that's what they're saying. But now the defense counsel got to say, hey, why weren't these two pads labeled legal? Oh, this is a mess. They're gonna be going back and forth on this one. All right. So the first letter just states that they have to get rid of all copies of the handwritten notes that were seized from Diddy's cell. And then and they have to give the judge a reason as to why Diddy should not be bailed out. And they have to cite very, what they say, I don't want to say famous cases, but the best cases, the best supporting cases Mm. And it says supporting or refuting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Child, this is gonna be interesting. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Because wait, hold up. When is the hearing? Okay, so that means his bail hearing is on. Hold on. Oh, I just closed out of everything. Hold on. I'll be treating this as if I am on live. But his bail hearing is next week, but I'm just interested into why, not unless they push back the bail hearing. So let's see. Court. Let's see. And I'll show it up on my screen after I look at this. Because this is very interesting. This is very interesting. I'm sorry, there is going to be some silence as I get this information for you guys right quick. Because now I want to know. Because they have a few deadlines, but that is after Thanksgiving. Please pull up. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Okay. Uh Docket 60, because I'm very interested to see what the government's input as to why they don't believe that Diddy should get bail. But they're gonna have to cite some cases to support that. Um And it does look like he was able to be freed. When I say freed, he was unshackled. And so for the next hearing, I'm wondering if this is just like a one-time thing, or, any future hearings, he will be able to enter the courtroom to, you know, and be free to move around and stuff like that, not having to worry about shackles. All right, so document 60, that's the motion for bond. Doesn't say. It does not say. Well, I'm gonna do some further investigation on this and see exactly when that motion for bail hearing is going to oh no, it says reply on renewed motion for bail is due on 11/21, but it still doesn't make sense because we have motions due by 12/4, responses due by 12/9. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that and kind of see, because I'm still trying to figure out if the bail hearing is still going to go through. And I know I'm looking at the screen. I mean, I have that screen up, and you guys like, what is she looking at? I'm just looking at the docket right quick. Motion for bail, memorandum, opinion order. That's interesting. Okay. Well, I'm gonna look to see, and I would just update that on the community wall. Oh, so yeah, here it is. Motion hearing is set for 11/22. It doesn't show that it's been changed. It just still shows November 22nd. So we shall see. So either way, they have to resubmit their reply by the 21st, which is tomorrow. And then the hearing is going to be set for the 22nd. Renewed motion for bail. Yeah, so reply. So to sum it up, the government has to resubmit a reply on the new motion for bail. That's due tomorrow. The hearing is on the 22nd for the motion for bail. So I would keep a look on this docket, see if anything else is filed, and I will update you guys accordingly. Definitely, the question that I want to ask for today is, and I think I probably asked this on the Mike Jeffries case, but what do y'all feel is the difference between these two cases? Why was Mike Jeffries able to get, bail out where Diddy is still incarcerated? What are your thoughts? Put them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, be blessed and I'm out. Bye.